have residents asking police officers to fight ICE agents on the street.
These politicians are opportunists. They represent the idiots that live here.
You're angry, I'm angry. Angry's not a strong enough word.
We should be more worried that this is what we are. No more actual politicians. They're all reality TV stars.
So I'm super excited to be a candidate for Mayor of Austin.
The election's in 2028.
I love that I jumped the gun.
This nation is in a civil war. It's going to heat up from here.
I'm tired of being told I have to lose.
I think that reaction, that feeling is becoming more and more pervasive.
Welcome to Just the Guys Podcast.
Welcome tonight to Just the Guys Podcast. It looks like it's just me and Cisco here. Soldiers of Finance. Check them out on YouTube. Logic is out with the Do Funny Flu. CT also seemed to have caught it.
Maybe they caught it together.
Ooh.
Who knows?
And reason, right? Because he keeps skipping work. Communist goal number 42. Create the impression that violence and insurrection are legitimate aspects of the American tradition, that students and special interest groups should rise up and use united force to solve economic, political, and social problems. Things are heating up in Minneapolis with ICE. They're definitely all doubling down and not giving any leeway to the officers to do their job. And while they're doing that, they're doing everything possible to drive this whole country mad. But ICE, on the other hand,
It took you guys a while to find us, huh? Please don't get in front of the vehicle, though. Thank you.
You're blocking parking spots for businesses. That's pretty rude. This is a parking spot. You're blocking parking spots.
this is hysterical to watch ICE troll them back.
I honestly think that we've experienced our 21st century Fort Sumter. This nation is in a civil war. It's going to heat up from here, unfortunately, because I think a lot of people have pined away for civil war, but they don't know what they are asking for, but they're going to get it. I mean, the nation is going to get it. You've got Tim Walz suggesting he's going to mobilize the National Guard to go against ICE.
Donald Trump wants this chaos. And yes, he wants more violence on our streets. We must protest loudly. You're angry, I'm angry. Angry's not a strong enough word. Help us establish a record of exactly what's happening in our communities. And if you see these ICE agents in your neighborhood, take out that phone and hit record. Help us create a database of the atrocities against Minnesotans, not just to establish a record for posterity, but to bank evidence for future prosecution.
Got Jacob Frey, the mayor of Minneapolis, encouraging his police officers to fight ICE.
And we're in a position right now where we have residents that are asking the very limited number of police officers that we have to fight ICE agents on the street, to stand by their neighbors.
You know, I mean, all around the country, you get this guy today that was mobbed and stabbed up in Minneapolis. It's unraveling.
There's no more room left on the playing field. Everybody's moved into their corner nice and snugly. There's nowhere left to back up. So you had to, shoot the guys in California, was it, or whatever, or Oregon, whatever, Washington, right?
Somewhere. I think it was Washington.
Guys, and those, oh no, they're good people. Like the worst people in humanity are being lauded. And then just every single day, you read something new about an escalation in the terms of both sides, right? Yeah, the other day they ripped weapon locker out of the eye. Like, what are you trying to accomplish like that? Everywhere else on earth, those people just get put down right there. In every other country, I'm pretty sure, except for European countries and in America, if you try and rip a gun locker out of the back of a cop car, they're just going to use deadly force instantly and not ask questions.
I think that other countries, their citizens wouldn't even think of doing that because they are cognizant of what the response would be, and it wouldn't be pretty at all.
I mean, look what it took for them to go to the streets in Iran. Dude, it's getting out of hand. You have geniuses like this one too, initiating an aggressive altercation with a guy with a gun. You're lucky you're not dead. What do you expect? You ran face first to a point blank range distance with a guy with a gun. Why are you complaining that you're still alive?
You and I know what to expect, but there's a large segment of this new generation that has never been in a physical altercation, okay, has never done, I mean, you know, man, coming up, you would be in a physical altercation that was fun, that you were, you know, just playing around, you know, boxing or wrestling, you know, with the fellas, right? You know how it feels to be punched in the face. You know how to size a guy up. You know how to avoid law enforcement. These guys are following cops around. Man, I have not so much as a point on my driving record, but if I see the cops staging somewhere, I'm going the opposite direction. So what we're seeing is a lot of guys and women who, quite frankly, don't understand how the world works. A lot of guys that haven't been punched in their faces, they actually may think it's okay to try to snatch a cop's gun. And so they're meeting up. You know, you and I were gradually introduced to the real world over the course of, you know, childhood and adolescence. These idiots are getting all of what we got in a decade and a half. They're getting it like instantly.
To me, it's so funny. You hear them screaming, "Leave them the fuck alone!" Like, dude, you're the idiots who ran up to guys with guns and started harassing them. That's why I'm saying the tank is on empty. Whole massive millions. It's not thousands. It's not tens of thousands. It's millions of Americans believe that a cop has no right to defend themselves when being assaulted by a protester. Protester is their lawful First Amendment right. No, you're assaulting a cop. That's where it stopped. The lawful First Amendment right stopped the minute you became aggressive, right? But no. And they have all these people going out there and thinking that they're on the wrong side of the gun to begin with and somehow still being alive at the end of the altercation. This makes no sense. You ran point blank range after cops dragging away your friend. What did you think was going to happen?
They can't point to one individual that they prevented ICE from taking. Dumbest strategy.
That's what they're doing. That the communist goal that he made me read in the beginning of the show. That's what they're doing. It's not. They're not. What did he think was going to happen? Yes, sir. You and your bullhorn have convinced me to
right.
Not continue to do the job they're paying me for. I feel so guilty that your bullhorn pulled on my heartstrings, and now here's your friend back.
Right.
They want chaos. They do, dude. This is the madness that they think they're going to win with. It's purely theatrical. Watch this.
This is what 80 umbrellas look like stuffed inside a Toyota Prius. Look at this shit. Look at this. We are f***ing so ready. Yes.
I'm mind blown. Are those bulletproof umbrellas? Is that the Penguins umbrella from the 1960s Batman show that was bulletproof? Is that it? Is that 80 Penguin umbrella? Soldiers, like, I want in on that company. I want to invest.
You see Kingsman?
Yes.
Remember that they had the umbrella was like a shield and a machine gun. Yeah.
You're going up against guys armed with assault rifle. Like they're fed. It's not even normal street cops that have to call in SWAT to get the good armor. These guys come in the good armor. They come with the big boys.
Right.
You got a guy with like an M249 walking around there. They have military deployment techniques. Like, and you're driving my 2014 Honda Pilot, baby.
Right.
The ultimate. It's like the people who watch wrestling and believe it's real, and the championship belt is the ultimate weapon.
It's like, man, like the guy that he's blind now in one eye. Consequences.
I thought it was a girl who transitioned.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
I can never keep up.
Yeah, I'm the same thing. I can't. I thought it was a guy. I could be wrong. It's 2026.
No, I mean, dude, I don't know anymore. When I go to a new doctor, the first thing I ask them is, what is a woman? Just so I'm sure I know I have an actual
move. Right. Smart move.
I'm just saying, but like, dude, this is what I was trying to say. This is how you know it's on empty. This is how you know there's nothing left in the tank to keep the current trajectory going. There's no one left who cares about the current trajectory. Show me one party invested in the current trajectory, like in keeping the country on whatever this track would be called. No one. The alt-right, they want this crazy Christian nationalist nation. The MAGA movement wants this insane populist tyranny. They do. They really do.
Everything is extreme. Everything is extreme.
Right. There's no middle. There's no compromise. They can't get anything done. Everything has to be done in like state level supermajorities.
You got the whole redistricting
invested in the whole country. Right? Like, I don't see parties invested in the whole country. I see parties invested in ideology. And then we were talking, you're a finance guy. Make it make sense that you have 5 years of inverted growth in all the
Yeah.
market. Explain
I
to me
mean-
how you can have stocks, bonds, commodities, crypto, NFTs, fake imaginary markets all in a rise simultaneously with no counterbalancing markets, specifically because you and I both know that just alone the commodity and the stock market were built to be inverted from each other. Where is there a future on this? Was a car. The needle on the thermostat will be bumping running so hot just on the economy alone.
And again, with these folks, yeah, sure, you have the Bill of Rights, but every one of those comes with consequences. So yeah, I can go out here and exercise my Second Amendment rights, but there are consequences to it if I do it in the wrong way. Same thing with the First Amendment, right? And interfering with law enforcement, while the Supreme Court may argue whether or not that's in your constitutional rights, you may wind up blind or worse. I mean, and for what? Okay, we know most of these people are getting paid.
Predators. For people with, most of these people have lawful convictions outside of
That's the other
immigration.
thing.
And honestly, immigration is illegal. If you don't have borders, you don't have a nation.
No, you do not. Try to go to Mexico illegally.
Mexican citizen without $10,000 in your bank account.
Right. Right. And as a Mexican citizen, you're never eligible for their welfare programs.
Because you didn't weren't born there.
Right. But you can come over here and not be a citizen and set up a sham daycare, send money back to Al Shabaab. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Learning, you're learning.
Yeah, a Leering Center.
Leering Center, your Leering Center. Yes. We argue over the stupidest shit as a nation. As a nation, regardless of our political ideologies, these motherfuckers that are stealing our money, we should all want them gone. Whether they're legal or illegal.
Absolutely.
Be in the deepest, darkest holes we can find because they stole hundreds of millions of our dollars as a nation.
That fraud up in Minnesota is like at $9 billion now.
That's what I'm saying. You're right. Of our dollars. But I mean, like, this should unite us, but it divides us.
Congressional representatives doing more to advocate for people who are not citizens than you see them advocating for citizens. We got enough problems in this country right now. Meanwhile, you got actual congressional representatives and senators like this idiot Chris Van Hollen here in Maryland.
God.
Okay.
Worst
who are going to the wall for people, not only people who aren't citizens, but people who are criminals.
Did you see his most recent post, dude? We're going to get on with ICE. He's going after ICE now. He's all in.
Sure.
Dude, him and ICE. Dude, forget about it. These politicians are opportunists. They represent the idiots that live here. We should be more worried that this is what we are.
Yeah.
That we are no longer statesmen, no more actual politicians. They're all reality TV stars.
Absolutely.
Every last one of them.
Absolutely,
Since Obama turned the internet into a political weapon, the way he specifically made, right, with his first campaign, he was the first one to go to the social media. He was like revolutionary in using all those things. They have weaponized it to a level that all these people do is click and like. You have Ilham Omar or whatever getting up there all worried because all her people are going to jail.
Right.
Talking about, like, this is what I'm saying. These people are not invested in this country. They're invested in their wealth. I hate to break it to everybody. The communists are wrong. Revolution is probably necessary at this point in this country, but not the way these people are talking about it.
You've got Ilhan Omar, okay, who when she came into the Congress just a few years ago, she declared that she was, her net worth was in the negative by $6,500. Here we are about 5 years later, she's worth $30 million. It's a big...
Because they're cheaters.
Yeah.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. They represent us, whether we like it or not. They truly are what we are. That means we're a nation of liars and cheaters and scammers, frauders, and no one wants to really hear it.
The people that get elected,
accept it because people don't want to think they're bad people. Like they want to think individually they're a good person, and it's everything else is bad. But the truth is somehow all of us are fucked.
Hey, look, I would even say that, like, you take Minnesota for example, right? Okay, so Ilhan Omar got elected up there. I would even go you one better and say that people are looking at it and saying, hey, I'm going to support her. I'm going to throw money behind her because I want the grift to continue.
That's what
I want to be in on this directly.
That's what I'm saying is, dude, people want to blame the politicians like somehow the politicians themselves corrupted the nation and turned it into their own personal wallet. And it's this they conspiracy. These people believe that everything is fake. Everything is a psyop, and that they themselves are the only arbiter of truth. Do you understand? Let's look at, like, I don't even want to get into this discussion to derail everything, but real quick, one of my favorite things now is the flat earth movement. Right. Do you know what Galileo or Copernicus went through to get us to stop thinking that the earth was flat before conspiracy theories, and the church is the one who punished these people. And who is it again? Who's trying? Look, is all the right-wing Bible thumping alt-righters, all want you to believe the world is flat, that there's an ice wall. And dude, you know, the simplest question is if it's all flat, then just why hasn't someone on the equator traveled to the ice wall and taken a picture, right?
There's so many questions that you could pose, but the thing is, you're not posing them to reasonable people. So, I mean, I could prove to you that the earth is not flat by a simple experiment. You go 25 miles away from me, you take a pole, I'll have a pole, we'll measure the angle of the shadow, boom, okay? If it's flat, it will get the same reading.
No, because I saw on YouTube a guy did a computer simulation where the sun moves around the flat circle, dude.
Right.
No, I saw it
exactly.
on YouTube. Dude, that's what I'm saying. Before any of this tech that you say proves you right, two dudes suffered for their entire lives using math and observable science to break the church of saying the world is flat. The fact that we're 2,000 years later, basically, and you idiots are roaming around, like, that's what I mean. You can't have a country that's had 2.5 decades of failing reading and writing in its education system.
And reasoning, right.
You cannot continuously breed people who are being bred to be dumber, or as they would say, stupider.
I mean,
and
you're
think that there isn't a long-term consequence to all of
and here we are.
Dude, we're running, they are using ChatGPT to become doctors. Ask your doctor questions before you go meet a new doctor or take on a doctor. Be critical. Don't just accept that they know what they're talking.
20 years from now, how old will you be?
67.
Can you imagine the quality of your medical so-called professionals at that point?
No, I'll be dead like 100 times over, man. I argue with my doctors when they want to do things that are too invasive just for testing. Like, they have to validate it for me. Because not that I don't trust it, it's that because there's so many idiots out there, there's way higher risk of malpractice. Dude, I worked for an attorney for 10 years, man. I've seen every kind of malpractice that doctors practice. I've seen them leave instruments, and these are guys who've been at it for 20 years, top of their class. Everybody makes mistakes, let alone the fact that now you have people who literally pass it with ChatGPT. Sorry, dude. That's what I mean. You cannot maintain this posture, this track for as long as they've been doing it and think that you're going to gain momentum. So again, there's no one left on the field who isn't in a corner. There are no moderates left. That's Trump.
No,
you could say Obama created Trump, but Trump polarized everything, right? Like, I'm willing to give blame down the chain and everything, but you got to admit that the Trump snapback, especially because we had a little Biden in between, people got a taste of what it was, and they ran back to Trump overwhelmingly. So
the pendulum swings back harder.
And it's doing it faster and more.
Yeah, much more frequent.
Something's going to change, man. These midterms are not normal midterms, people. Be active. Go support your like whoever you are, right, left, center. If you care about this country, this is the year to care. It's not 2028. It wasn't 2024. This is the year. Because if this year turns to shit and everybody behaves like an asshole, we're going to have nothing left. Dude, we have a lot of people in power right now who would love to see a haphazard. You know, they just won lawsuits for voter ID and stuff so that they can start going after voting records in states that they don't like. Game's about to change, folks.
All right, let's say the Democrats get the House back. All of these issues that pertain directly to you, like healthcare, energy, the economy, all that's done. It's going to be nonstop impeach. That's all going to hit.
No, if they take both houses, they'll push single payer healthcare through. There'll be enough Republicans who will jump ship that they'll get their 60 votes.
You could be right about that. We did a live stream on that, and we actually went into depth taking a hard look at Britain and also Canada. And these people they think they want this, and they're going to get one hell of a shock when they get it.
They're going to do it. No, the minute the Democrats have enough power to push it through, all they need is majority in both houses. Because as long as they're like 53 votes and they only need 7 Republicans to be cowards, that's easy. There are 7 greedy Republicans.
Well, it's easy to find a Republican coward. You're right about that.
It's not like they're rising up for something that's oppressing Americans.
Right.
These are something that's trying to liberate Americans.
Exactly.
It's the most backwards form of civil unrest ever. And if we could just all take a breath and take 5 steps back for a second, we would realize that we're all contributing to this. All of us.
But the left has already established this mantra of never let a crisis go to waste. So they see their objectives, and then they see, okay, here's an opportunity.
The right, if blood leads, right? The right was big on making sure that the most
Mm-hmm.
violent horror things were the front page and the leading stories on every news channel when they went from being about statesmanship. Lyndon B. Johnson might have been a bastard, but the man was a statesman.
Absolutely.
Right? They might have called it Johnson treatment, and he might have been but the man was a statesman. He was there to do the country's work. Kennedy, and I'm picking Democrats on purpose, right? Like you see that. I'm staying away from my own side of the aisle. Like there was a time, Clinton even was more a statesman than he was a politician. I'm sorry, he worked across the aisle.
Look, the reality of it is Clinton had a fantastic economy. Okay, if we're being honest and we're telling the truth, Clinton had a fantastic economy. I would say, as I look on both sides of the aisle, I would say that there are still a handful of statesmen there in the Senate, but that's an endangered species. Absolutely.
It's over. That's what I'm saying. And you see it in the cultural death of idiots walking up to people. My favorite video of the last month is that one black man, he's like way bigger than the ICE officer, goes to grab his gun. The ICE officer just lifts it up and pops him from the underbarrel, right in the face with a pepper ball. Like, dude, what were you thinking? What was your next step after you got that gun out of his hands? Are you opening fire? Because they're opening fire on you. The minute that gun leaps out, pop, 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 and you're the shortest story in history. Everybody like, share, and subscribe. Check out the other MCM broadcasts like Pop and Politics and KJ Christian and Conservative. They rock it out all week here. Check out Soldiers of Finance on his channel. Even though CT's not here, for those of you who know CT, check out that Prince of All Tethers on his channel, live streaming every day till he passes out. The stupidity abounds, soldiers. Yeah. It never ends. No, it never ends.
Talk about her platform. Farrah Abraham, welcome back to TMZ Live. How you doing?
Yes, I'm doing good. Thank you, guys. I'm super excited to be a candidate for mayor of Boston. I'm running super early, so I can't wait to see who's going to run with me and challenge me.
So sometimes people say the less you know, the more you like. You are now giving them many years to make a decision because the election is not until 2028. Why so early?
Oh, for some reason, the mayor election is 2026. I don't know. That's just what the office told me as well.
Well, we should get some clarity here.
Are you okay? So am I running for district? So district will be, which is federal. I'm running local right now. So local is a little bit different than federal. I did say my hope after running for local is for a local district, which is in 2028. So I do have hopes for running for district, but for right now, I'm going to stay in a nonpartisan category, which is mayor.
Okay, I want to make sure we can get some clarity here.
I'm just going to be running for mayor, which is 2026. You also have Spencer Pratt, who's going to be running for mayor for Los Angeles.
That election actually is this year. Yeah.
Yes.
But
so I don't believe mayors are on a different.
Yeah, I know it's different in every city.
Okay, so I just know what my city has told me.
Please call the city hall in Austin, Texas, and find out when the election for mayor is in Austin. Maybe call the mayor's office. So Farrah, we just got this in our ear. The election's in 2028. So, there was a 2-year term with a vacancy in 2022, but now it's aligned with the presidential election. So it is 2028. So I think you may have jumped the gun here.
I love that I jumped the gun. I love if I jumped the gun. But yeah, so I don't know. There's also a lot going on locally. So if someone also misinterpreted that and told me different, that's okay too.
Where's she running?
Austin, Texas.
Okay, yeah, she'll win.
No, I'm sure. Yeah, but this is why we're doomed. That's not statesmanly. That's not.
No, that's TikTok.
That person is not qualified automatically,
right?
Because she has a campaign. Who gave her money?
Right.
Where's her money? And why are people giving her money 2 years too early? How do they not know?
TikTok generation. That's what we're seeing.
She's a celebrity. That's Farrah Abraham, right? Like,
influencer.
Rich people gave her money to start a campaign.
Right.
Not using her own money.
Yeah.
Like that, dude. This is why women shouldn't vote. This is a demonstration of why the system worked 200 years ago, 150 years ago.
Several people have said that the voting age should be decreased to 16. We should have voting continuously. Basically, there should be no election.
Yeah, ranked choice voting you're talking about.
You got ranked choice voting, okay, which is insanity. That helped Zoran Mamdani get the nomination.
We are living in idiocracy. We literally have Hector Macho Camacho as president. We do. We have a reality TV style. Look, I love our president. He's doing great things. But I'm just saying, as an objective person, we are surrounded by bumbling idiots. 24 hours a day. I was in a meeting on Friday with senior staff that I work, like not senior, but like senior working level staff at one of our web services and shit. Like, dude, like straightforward visual imagery was difficult for them to.
Mhm.
These senior tech guys were explaining to me how they were getting questions from users about like things, updates to the program that we gave, and like, dude, when I'm talking them through it, you see on the video call the light bulbs turn on. I'm not even knocking these kids. These are smart guys. They work like they do great work by us, but it's not all there. It's like some of this basic comprehension is just not home.
Declining IQ levels among humanity. We did talk about the Somalians. Somalians have like an average IQ of 60. But even with that, they were apparently smart enough to come over here and bilk us out of $9 billion so far. Okay, so it just goes to your point.
It's a small few amongst them who rally their tribes to work in coordination to create these funnels. It's 2 or 3 people who are doing it, and hundreds who are part of the machine that people don't even realize. We're getting bilked by the same way we get bilked every time. A couple of smart people come along and they convince all the stupid people to do shit for them.
Right.
I mean, it's just another Bernie Madoff. It's Somali Bernie.
Yeah. And it's led by these emotional responses, right? So that's why you hear these Democrats talking about caring and, that's that sort of language when.
Dude, we have a lady who's clearly a Democrat trying to run unaffiliated, whatever. And she didn't know what year her election. People gave her money. She started a campaign. She built, dude, you are a campaign manager. You know what it takes to run a campaign.
You know when the election day is.
To get to that first TMZ interview, sir. Right. What got to that day? Where's the campaign mat? Where's anybody who knows anything? They did that just to embarrass her, man.
They did. And they did a damn good job of it too. Okay.
Fantastic job.
They had to know that they were dealing with an airhead to begin with, because they were able to totally manipulate her and set her up. For the viewers, if you have not seen Idiocracy, if you haven't seen it by now, then you missed the opportunity to see it as a comedy. When you watch it now, it's a documentary.
Like, can you be in that? Do you imagine you're in that TMZ room when they're pitching this story? It comes across his desk and he's like, she's running for office 2 years too early. Oh, we got to have this.
Right. Do you remember the scene in Idiocracy where they introduce President Camacho in the arena?
Uh-huh.
There is a similar scene at one of Kamala Harris's campaign rally. It's so, you could put it side by side and it damn near almost matches up, man. We are in the real deal Idiocracy.
Let's get out of stupid and let's go to smart. For the first time in 50 years, they're sending astronauts back to the moon. For all you people who believe we've never been to the moon, when this happens, I'd love to see the explanations then. But
you'll see him. You'll see.
Yeah, it's all fake, dude. It's all psyop. Right. Everything is a psyop, and I am the only arbiter of truth. Give me a $9.99 a month subscription, and I'll tell you the
right.
deal is. Like Sarah, so don't forget to join our Shamers Club, and if you do, I'll give you the secrets to the universe. The keys to the universe are on the other side of the monthly subscription, folks. And YouTube, that's a joke. Relax.
Yeah, but this is good, man. Dude,
look at this for the first time in 50 years.
There's no excitement around it.
Why would there be? It's fake.
Shouldn't we be talking about this?
No, because it's fake. It's a psyop. We've never been to the moon. That's all CGI. That doesn't even exist, man. That's what people believe is the truth, is that everything is fake. Nothing we did. Dude, you have whole swaths of people reinventing their identity based around that everything is white supremacy or colonialism or whatever word they're using to throw everyone out. We're sending astronauts back to the moon, finally. Another Trump win.
So what they're going to do is they're not going to land, preparing for landings. They're going to circumnavigate a couple of times and then come back home. Just like they did during the Apollo first. And this has to be done. A lot of people are, what do we do? We went up there and played golf. Well, this has to be done because the Chinese, oh man, they're making big waves in space, the ultimate high ground. And how many people were aware that the Chinese actually have a pretty sophisticated space station in orbit right now?
Higher orbit than the ISS.
Yeah, the retiring, the sooner. How the hell can we continue to operate the ISS when the other major partner, we're at odds with them, Russia? So China is making some big waves in space. People are not talking about it. I thought it was ingenious the way they started doing missions to the far side, not visible from the Earth.
You heard about Elon Musk's moon plan.
I think it would be tragic, extremely tragic, if Apollo was the high watermark for humanity. We got to get back to the moon and build a base there. A science base. I think we could learn a lot about the nature of the universe if we have a proper science base on the moon. Like we have a science base in Antarctica and many other parts of the world. And so that's I think the next big thing. We've got to have like a serious like moon base.
2028, he's starting to build spaceships that launch to the moon, land, tip over, and turn into self-contained habitat.
I like it.
And those will be the original moon bases. That's
Yeah,
what he wants. There's a video out there if I can find it, but there's a whole video that explains it. They land, they tip them over. Already part of it's set up to be habitable. They build in more, they land more of them, build them, connect them.
You will appreciate this. You can understand this. So at the same time, we got all of this stupidity going on in the world. We have stuff like this going on as well, right? Which has a potential to really elevate the human condition. Remember the whole Star Trek thing with Zephyr Cochrane in the post-apocalyptic world? He was working on warp drive, you know? So it's kind of like that was so accurate because it's like multiple things can be going on at one time. And here we see something that is very, very cool going on at the same time that we have a bunch of nonsense happening.
You know me, you and CT love this shit. I mean, even Giovanni loves it. Logic loves this shit, but this, dude, it's a waste. All this is a waste. It's never going to amount to anything because we're going to do more damage down here before we get to go up there. Maybe in the next, whatever comes after, we'll get more out of it. But
it could be, man.
The benefits of this, sadly, that's the thing that hurts me the most when I look at these pictures. These benefits, even if these benefits me and you won't see, we're just too old now.
Yeah,
you need another 30 years before this. And I honestly, I don't think this.
Yeah,
it doesn't materialize to something beneficial to the whole in this run. It's whatever comes after all the upheaval that's coming, dude. Because without a doubt, I'm a firm believer that you can't continue down this polarized path where you're splitting the country down the middle. And you have all these people getting up saying, oh, they're trying to divide. No, they're trying to divide us and everything. Like it's some outside party doing it to us. No, dude, we want to be divided.
Right.
We continuously break ourselves down into the smallest tribes possible to have identity circles. It's the human condition. It's the nature. We want to be a part of an in-group. And people don't realize that. We blame everything outside of ourselves. You know what I mean? Like it's this whole loss of personal responsibility.
Yeah, no. Taking your supposition to another level, scientifically proven, this is true. We got falling birth rates globally. We got declining testosterone levels and declining IQs. What does that say about the future of the species? What's going on with that? Because if you can't, I firmly believe we've reached peak population at 8 billion. There's a lot of speculation that China does not have the population that it has always said it has. There's a lot of speculation out there that they're shy about 400 million people. So what's going on with the species? If you look at those factors, declining IQ, declining birth rates, declining testosterone, what does that say, if anything, about the future?
We're dying off. But I think it's a swing. I think that because the things that motivate us, like philosophically, this is about to be, but like philosophically, the things that motivate us as people don't exist anymore. The fact that it had to be a thing for intelligence to be cool. Think about all the other kingdoms that have existed before us. The smart were always lauded above the regular. It's only in the modern civilizations where it was bad to be smart or whatever, right? Like it's this modern dumbing down of society.
Yeah, it's ridiculed. Yeah.
We have lost any deep, meaningful purpose, right? Like because we don't need to survive, because we don't hunt, we don't gather, because life isn't a struggle in a very linear way anymore. Everything is a very abstract struggle. You're dying to make money, to pay bills, in this repetitive cycle that we've created. There's very little fulfillment. If you think of it in like video game terms, there's very little fulfillment quest lines left. Marriage and family is shot. It's shot. Even the best relationships today take magic at this point because you don't have communities, you don't have churches and religious institutions that used to be the center of these things, unless they're extremely fundamental or not radicalized is the wrong word. You want to say extremely religious. The community there is questionable. I mean, you hear everybody complain about it on the internet otherwise. And then within these ultra-religious communities, you hear these horrific stories of what happens behind these tight-knit communities.
Don't forget consumerism. People are getting disenamored.
Oh, yeah.
They're learning that you can't buy your way to happiness.
Yeah. Exactly, dude. We've managed to remove all the fundamental things that make humans feel fulfilled and replace them with stuff.
A lot of these guys, like the guy you showed with the umbrellas, used to be a time when if a guy wanted to really get fulfillment and accomplish something, he would pack his shit, leave the village, and just go. and do some Marco Polo type shit or Edmund Hillary and climb a damn mountain and just be fulfilled. Now you see these guys think that the equivalent is to pack a car with umbrellas and take on ice.
It used to be man could be fulfilled by conquering nature, by exploring, by becoming a soldier, all of that. Every single aspect of fulfillment from a man has been demoralized in the West, taken away. I think more than anything else, it was to undermine masculinity that a lot of this intersectionality invaded these spaces. Dude, look at men today. I sit up here, I'm a part of this dark corner of YouTube, sadly, and I listen to these men day in and day out come up here, complain about women. It's my biggest pet peeve. First of all, my first pet peeve is no one knows. Everybody wants words to mean whatever the hell they want, right?
Sure.
Like people use all sorts of words any way they want. Fuck what the meanings actually are. But then the second is that men blame women for everything. Dude, you know why women have the right to vote? Men gave it to them. You know why women get to have single motherhood? Men gave it to them. All the laws, there has never been a time in history where there isn't a man co-signing on a change for women. Men are ultimately responsible for every step of the destruction of Western civilization. But you go listen to the red pill, the black pill, the MGTOWs, and they all have one thing that they have in common. It's women's fault. Whether it's black men blaming black women, whether it's red pill men blaming all women, whether it's the black pill white dudes blaming white women, for all various. Dude, no, it's men. Men are responsible for everything.
Men have abdicated leadership roles. That's why the presence of a Donald Trump seems so foreign to so many men. They are reflexively opposed to masculinity.
We're around the same age, me and you, right? Mm-hmm. In your friend group, when you were in 20s, how many dudes had skincare routine?
0. My skincare routine was a bar of Ivory soap.
Dude, you see this beard, right? ask me what I do to upkeep it. Right? I know guys, they got oil, they got wax, they shape it, they stop it. It grows out of my face and it stays there. That's its job. Maybe I brush it once in a while so it's not poofing out or whatever. But like, explain to me how men have longer routines than women in the morning. My routine is rolling through the shower, putting on clothes, deodorant, whatever, and getting the hell my day started. I don't stand in front of the mirror gazing at myself lovingly.
Right.
Like, what? Right. Explain this to me. Dude, I was a nerdy, skinny Jewish kid with big glasses. I was the farthest thing from being the guy who it should sound like this. But like, as I grew, dude, I didn't change. My views on what being a man did not change. I have always been this way. I look at these gentlemen now, if you can say that word, and they are soft, man. These guys walk around being all hard, blaming women for everything. That is fucking soft.
Somebody told me that the average haircut today is like in the neighborhood of $40 to $50.
What?
I've been cutting my own hair for decades. Okay. And it's no style to it. It's just, I cut it close.
Same barber for 15 years. My price for a haircut hasn't changed in 15 years. So,
but you got guys out there that are paying these exorbitant prices and not questioning it. And there's a great scene in High Plains Drifter. It's a Clint Eastwood movie. One of the first things he does when he comes to town is he gets a shave and a haircut, right? Okay, and the guy asked him, he says, "Would you like some lilac water?" And Clint Eastwood just looks at him like, "Fuck out of here."
I listen to these guys come up here. Like, my favorite is the ones who complain about women in relationships. I'm sorry, dude. That's all on you, man.
Yeah.
You're letting them play games with you. You're letting them run circles around you because you won't say no. Instead, when they start playing a game with you, you don't like, peace. But you want to stay. You still hoping that there's something at the end of the rainbow and shit. That's what cracks me up, man. That Joe Rogan, the first time, you ever hear that Joe Rogan stand up when he talks about there's an office with 4 guys in it who work there, and then they hire a woman, and then from there on out, the woman is the most powerful person because they're all bending in the shape of whatever. Dude, I've seen it. I've worked in corporate America where the place was only men, and then all of a sudden there's a sales assistant or a sales person, is a woman, and all of a sudden every man is tripping over himself in that place because they all have some weird delusion.
Listen,
I have never seen anything like this in my whole life, that 2 whole generations of men who think simping is normal and is the norm and that I'm toxic. That's crazy.
I'm so grateful to God that I came out of the generation that I came out of. I've been married for 25 years. A sane woman, as sane as a woman can be. Okay. Because they all have, right. But Old school stuff, man. Like, fuck all this pretension and all these games. And, you know, I just feel like my nephews, I look at my nephews and I'm like, damn, it's such a different world.
Dude, can I tell you a crazy story? So I go into my office once a week, right, to make FaceTime with the owner. Anybody who's in senior management, that's a good rule of thumb. If you have access to the owner of your company, make sure you make FaceTime with them on a regular basis. It'll guarantee improve your standing. But that aside, the last time, 2 times ago, I was in the office. There's a very nice lady who works there. I know her for years. She lives with her man 11 years. It was always supposed to be a wedding. No wedding ring 11 years later. And we were talking about it and stuff. In my response to her, I said, you know, you made it easy to end up here. Just, what are you talking about? Like, spent 11 years with your own money, your own stuff, right? You lived together, but you had your thing, he had his thing. This is what you're responsible for. This way, you're not a unit. You're 2 separate people moving in parallel next to each other. If you want to be a unit with someone, there is no separation. You don't have your money and their money. I'm not giving anybody advice. I'm just telling you, man.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
If you want to actually make a relationship work from day one, you have to be in it as a whole and not as 2 individuals. If you're thinking that you're going to somehow turn something that starts as 2 rocks rolling down the road next to each other into a boulder, at some point you're going to have to smash those 2 things together and stop having a difference between the 2 objects. And if you never get to that point, I'm sorry, people, you will never find happiness in that interaction, whether it's a lover, a business person. If you're not moving together for the mutual benefit of the whole and recognizing that every step of the way, you're going to fail because you're going to make choices out of selfish short-sightedness because you're going to only be looking out for you in that moment, and it'll all fall apart and you won't even see it coming, folks.
No doubt. Totally.
Like when I look at things like that spacecraft, I weep. That's why I weep, because we can sit here and see that, but really we're still apes. Like CT says, we're still apes walking around on a ball spinning, you know, a ball filled with water spinning in infinity.
The perfect metaphor too, because that is so aspirational, and you're leaving the earth, and meanwhile all this shit is still happening down here.
And we can't get out of our own way. Like, we refuse to recognize how we are the only reason our lives are the way they are is because we choose to allow it to continue. It has nothing to do with you're never a victim. You're only a survivor, folks. If you think that you're a victim, you have already lost. You are a survivor.
But there's so many people,
whatever it was. You are not a victim of whatever it was.
People have really bought into that victim mentality. Everybody has, you know, every little demographic group has some victimology that has been instilled that they can grab onto. And it's just like, I don't see myself that way. And you'll get into, I've had people actually try to, they're not satisfied with me saying, hey, you think whatever you want, but I'm not a victim. You notice people aren't satisfied with that. They're like, yeah, you are. You just don't see it.
And has Whitey ever stopped you from earning a green dollar?
Not only has that not happened, maybe you wouldn't be surprised at how many white people have helped me, unsolicited, helped me get to where I am. Okay. And I have received help from blacks, Asians, but yeah, white people have helped me out. Jews.
No, they run the world. I've been reliably told by the swath of neo-Nazis on the internet that my people run the world with space lasers.
Well, check this out. We are actually in business with a fair degree of Asians, okay? Chinese and Vietnamese. And I got to tell you, I can honestly say that our business started to really take off when we started to get into business with them. Why? Because of their work ethic. You got to match it. Okay, or you'll fall behind. And then the other thing, and I say this, and people think initially that it's an insult. It's not, it's a compliment. Asians are insect-like when they want to accomplish a goal.
Yeah, they swarm.
They get the shit done.
Yeah, oh, dude, 100%, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dude, Americans have lost. Do you know the funniest thing is the American work ethic used to be the greatest work ethic on earth. No one worked hard. We had the 6-day work week the longest. We had crazy hours longer. Like, it took for, like, people don't realize that well into the 1900s, labor laws were still to what you think of normal conditions today. My dad was old enough to watch his dad get fired every Saturday till he could work for a Jew, right? Because they had the 6-day work week. It amazes me to look at, especially because my wife's a teacher. And I remember what the inside, even when I went to like summer school in the worst places in 9th grade and shit, those kids sat quiet, listened to the teacher, didn't run their mouths. I mean, my wife teaches 5th grade. She has kids who talk back to her like they're 40.
Wow.
They have kids who do things that, like, yeah, I was a bad kid, fine. But like, it makes no sense bad.
I
It's
got
just
it.
random chaos. These
Yeah.
kids, like my wife said, they'll just start walking around the classroom randomly. They'll just get up out of their seats and walk around. Like they can't help themselves.
Nervous energy. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. It's
Don't know how to channel it. Yeah.
And then I love this thing that now they're talking about boys not getting to learn how because boys aren't supposed to sit still, right? Like there are all these excuses. Dude, I was in some of the strictest schools of all boys classes. We sat still.
Yeah.
We had no problem. Yeah, we were more rambunctious. They knew they were going to get boys being boys, but we had no problem sitting for the 45 minutes at a time for a class. Like this is ridiculous. What happened to any ability to have an attention span longer than the next? This is what I mean when I'm trying to say is like, this is how you know there's it's fumes in the tank. You can't keep doing that. You can't keep having this. You can't have excuses for every single thing that's wrong instead of solutions.
Right.
And you can't tailor the solution to each human individually. That's not a successful way to run society. You have to create cohesion, like voluntary cohesion, where people choose to be a part of the whole.
Absolutely. And it has to be some assimilation. And if you don't want to do that, then you can go and hike into the wilds of Alaska and, do your own thing. But society means some assimilation. Yeah.
Oh, 100. I'm with you 100%. I want to do one last thing. I want to show you one last clip, being that I had to host the show because everybody bailed, and I hate doing this, right? Like you understand, I hate being the host, right? I'm more than happy to be be the supporting and help with but this host shit is for the birds, folks. Just so you know, because you got to read and pay attention, and I just like to sit here and listen and talk. But I got one more video, and since it's a personal thing, we're going to take some for my people, right? A lot of talk lately has been about what mine and my people should do or are allowed to or shouldn't be allowed to do. I want you to understand, people. Jews, you shouldn't push us. You should be very careful, man, because we develop people like this man. And this man, you had to kill him to make sure that he stopped making a place for Jews on earth.
No one feels guiltier more than Jews do. We have honed it to a fine art. We feel guilty about surviving. We feel guilty about living. We feel guilty about having a Jewish state that persecutes the poor Palestinians who only tried to wipe us out for 70 years. So therefore, let me tell you something. It is better to win than to lose. For 2,000 years, we were losers. Today, we are winners. It is so much better to be a winner. It is better to live than to die. The world has loved us for 2,000 years because we died. It is better to live than to die, and it's better to have an Israel that is hated by the whole world than an Auschwitz that is loved by it. And know that, and understand that.
For those who don't know who that is, that's Rabbi Meir Kahane. We lost his life in 1990 when he was assassinated by another scumbag Arab.
I would disagree with one thing he said. He said that you've been losing for 2,000 years, but I think the fact that Jews still thrive, I think that shows that you faced an adversity for sure. But
he means that we couldn't fight back. He means that for the last 70 years we've been fighting back with the state of Israel. He was a rabid Zionist. That man started the JDL. That is one of the most influential men of my lifetime, and he died when I was a kid. That's Rabbi Meir Kahane. I just want to play that because I get the opportunity now. So I want to do a little, because I know how much the haters out there hate that stuff. Hearing Jews being proud of being Jews and winning. I'm so used to hearing so many Jews back down today.
Yeah, what was the guy's name in New York? One of the rabbis actually supported Mom Donnie.
Zionists, so they side with our enemies. Yes, the Torah Karta as well. There are Jews. There are many Jews, from the religious to the code pink women, who are all Jews, not secular leftist Jews. Jews are Jews' worst enemy every single time. You guys have nothing on what Jews to do to themselves, but that's what Khan is talking about. We always feel guilty, but you know what? It's better when we win. It's better when they fear us than when they smite us. And for 2,000 years, we couldn't fight back. Now they all fear us and our beepers.
Listen, as a Christian, I'll tell you this: I'm a fan of Vlad Tepes. I know you are as well.
Big fan.
Because in this world, it is better to be respected than loved. Machiavelli was spot on.
It's better to be feared than loved, because love is fickle, man. They love you one second, they hate you the next. But when they're afraid, they stay afraid. I don't want to live in a world like that. I like the idea that America was built on cooperation and democracy, but dude, no one cares. Everybody only cares about it for themselves. They don't really care about it for everyone. It's my ideology. Like, dude, I was happy to share the country with Democrats my whole life when I was a kid. It was fine. They like some stuff I could get with. I didn't like some other stuff, but you know, you could all get along. Dude, you can't talk to someone who doesn't have the same political ideology as you anymore reasonably. How many horror stories of losing friends do people have from the last 5 years?
Hey man, I had what I believe to be a very good friend who, and I do still maintain friendships with people who have a different political ideology than I do. There's this one individual, he knows who he is. We can talk reasonably about politics, although we disagree on most things. But I had this one so-called friend who Trump won. And, you know, I've always been unapologetic about, hey, I voted for Trump. That's my right. And that's who I wanted to be president. And it worked out, right? So this one particular individual called me the day after the election. And she's going on and on about how I voted for Trump and how he was going to take these programs away and how because of, she said, I don't want to hear your reasoning and rhetoric. She said that. That's a quote. And then I noticed that, and I came back with some remark, some slick remark. And then I noticed she had defriended me on Facebook. I have not spoken to her since, and I never will again. And this person's older than me, but apparently does not believe I have the right to vote the way I see fit for me and mine. So good riddance, right? But you're getting more and more of that and less of.
Do you remember during the Summer of Love? Robinson, right? So you remember there was that video of them mobbing the cop car and people climbing up on top of it and it drove away and they all fell off?
Yeah.
So I sent it to a leftist friend of mine at the time and they sent me back, I can't believe you're one of these, right? I sent it FAFO, right? Like fuck around, find out. Like that's like I said play stupid games, win stupid prizes. That's what I said, right? And I sent them the video and they lost it. I thought that you're one of the reasonable ones, blah, 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 and stop being friends with me.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, these people mobbed the cop car, climbed on top of it, and they're mad that the cop drove away.
Which is a perfectly reasonable and logical reaction.
I don't care.
I'm just saying for them not to recognize
that. I shared this video, and all I said is, right, play stupid. You know that I'm against this stuff, right? Like it's not like I'm saying, oh, they should be hurt. It's like, no, this is what I mean. This was like a demonstration of this is the stupidest type of behavior, and you're supporting it, right? Like, no, I can't be friends with you.
Okay, bye,
dude. I mean, and the stories abound. Everybody knows somebody who has a wilder story than anything you can tell. It's
families,
marriages ending.
Yeah,
I know people who got divorced over Trump.
Jeez, wow,
dude, you don't know how close to home it hits for me. Like that, serious. If we weren't on there, I'd tell. But like, I know people who literally, they're like, it wasn't like their marriage was perfect, but they had been together like 30 some odd years, and now with Trump and the whole thing, it finally was the catalyst that kicked the door down finally. Dude, it's madness. And that's what I'm saying. So the reason why I showed that clip specifically is because I'm tired of being told I have to lose.
And you know what? I think that reaction, that feeling is becoming more and more pervasive among society. Like people are like with the whole racism thing. Like now you see white people like, oh, fuck it. Okay, fine. I'm racist. Okay.
Dude, retard.
Whatever.
You're allowed to say retard again, man. Like you're allowed to do stuff like that?
Yeah. I watch
Pierce Morgan challenging Nick Fuentes to say words on it. Like this is we're in 5th grade.
Yeah.
We're literally living in perpetual 5th grade. People, look around you. This might be your last year of having things the way we have it easy.
Could be.
I would look, this time last year, I made a prediction that they all called the dark horse prediction, where it was Trump's going to take office and everything is going to be an escalating double down into ad nauseum all the way till they start prosecuting Democrats. Where are we? They're prosecuting Democrats. So I'm making my dark horse prediction for 2026. This is the last year we're going to know it like it stands now. After this election cycle, this country will not look the same. Regardless of who wins or what happens, it doesn't matter. None of that's relevant because whatever's going on in this country is coming to a tipping point. There is no way you can continue to push the narrative in the opposite directions the way it's going, and you don't have something come as a result of this. People are fed up. You all at home, you talk to your neighbors, you talk to your friends, you talk to your family. Almost everyone you know has had enough of one thing or another, whether it's fatigue from the intersectionality or the alphabet mafia, or from, if you have left-wing people, it's the right wing or the Trumpers. Everybody's tired of something. Can't have a nation of perpetually tired people, and there isn't going to be a consequence at the end. So hug your loved ones, figure out your plan, make sure you got your go bag. And by the way, if anybody needs Soldier's address as a backup plan, just saying, he's got a nice big acreage out in the middle of nowhere. Thanks for stopping by. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe on your way out.